In episode 21, we're getting you off to the right start in 2021, even when things go wrong. Have you ever had a call from a customer who asks, how can we fix this coating in the field? Today's guest shows us how you can save a project after it leaves your shop perfectly powder coated. It's inevitable and it's going to happen. Now you can say, yes, we can. Our guest has you covered with his line of products to cover your. Let's get ready to level up your powder coater game. Today we have our special guest is Gabe Vargas from Crosslink Paints, and the topic that we're going to talk about is kind of more of just revealing something that we discovered in the powder coating industry about a couple of years ago. And we had a customer who picked up a gate, and when they did, while they were installing it, the gate got scratched when they were putting the posts in the ground, and they called us and said, hey, can you guys come out here and powder coat this again? And we're like, hell no, we can't. So that's what led us to find today's guest and today's company, which is Crosslink Paints. And Gabe, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi, Kim. Doing really good. Thank you very much for letting me be on the show. I'm a very big fan of your podcast and also of your internet blog. I love reading your articles, and it helps me also learn about paint and powder coating every day. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and this is how the relationship started. Gabe reached out to me and wanted to do a guest post on the blog, and we somehow never got around to doing it, but I knew it was an important topic to talk about. So when we started the podcast, I knew exactly who I needed to call to get this information out. So why don't you start with, who is Crosslink Paints? What do you guys do, and how do you help powder coaters?
Okay, yeah, I can help you answer some of those questions. So Crosslink Paints is a paint company located here in Dallas, Texas. So we primarily sell aerosol spray paint, conventional paint, powder coating powder, not so much of it, and other various items there. And we sell this out to most of the time our local customers. A lot of our orders also go everywhere around the United States. So we have Crosslink Paints. We also have a company called LVP Paints. It does similarly the same thing. Both companies are marketed differently, and one company sells a little bit different type of paint than the other one. Then we also have a powder coating line called Crosslink Powder Coating that operates just a couple of buildings over from us. So we do powder coat as well. A lot of the paint that people buy from us is also, we use it in our own powder coating operations. So we have a lot of good data and feedback from our powder coating segment there. And we also have a company called Crosslink Competition. They do go-kart racing business, and then they also do F4 and F3 open wheel race cars as a business as well. So that's
you guys
what we do.
A lot.
Yeah, you could say we are quite a diverse business. So.
Yes, and I do order through low volume. That's kind of where I go. But let me share my screen now because I want to bring up your website. So does it matter if I go to Crosslink Paints or low volume? What is the difference there?
Yeah, it's just that LVP Paints was what we first started back in 2012. Originally, we were a bedliner company, but it then developed into a resale of powder coating powder, and we sold this to powder coating companies all across America in small amounts. Sometimes it's really hard to buy a whole box of powder in multiple various amounts of colors and keep that inventory on hand. So we're here to sell small amounts of powder to powder coating companies that don't want to buy the whole entire box. And then in 2015, we then introduced the paint line and aerosol line, so we started selling that. And then in 2019, we introduced Crosslink paints. And so you can go to either site. It's just that one of them is marketed quite a bit differently, and the other one is, sorry, sorry here. I might have to explain that again.
No, it's fine. I got exactly what you were talking about. And I'll head over to low volume here in a second. Right now I'm on your Crosslink paints, and I have gone to touch-up paint. So just to recap what we've done, or what they do, because they do lots of things, is they sell you, you don't have to buy the 50-pound box. And that's what they've done. They've taken larger brands and I see this happen if you're ever on the Facebook groups and stuff, somebody always just needs like a pound or two, or a low, 5 pound, less than 5 pounds, or 5 pounds or less. And they don't want to have to go buy the whole 50-pound. And that happens more. I see that that's a weekly question that always pops up on the groups and stuff. So that's interesting, because I've never ordered powder from you guys, but it's good to know. In fact, I'm going to just, you can see here on the shared screen that they carry the Rouse, Tiger Drylac, Exalta, DuPont, Cardinal, PPG, IFS, and you have a generic black. So
yeah,
if you've thought about, if you need that, but you don't need it all, this is a great place to go. And that's kind of new to me, because a lot of times we just need a little bit.
Yeah, Kim, if I can just elaborate on that a little bit. So what we do here on that side of the business, so a lot of times with our powder coating jobs, we are left with a byproduct of powder coating powder. And since we do quite a few colors, we have quite a few colors that we do keep in stock, or call them stock powders. So what we're able to do is, if a customer calls us looking for a powder coating powder, we're able to then go back in our inventory, see if we have it. If we do, then we can sell that powder coating powder to the customer there, and then that helps the customer not able to buy a whole, let's say 25 or 50-pound box and keep that inventory on hand. They're just now bringing the right amount of powder coating powder to them now.
Yeah, this is crazy, because I'm clicked into the Tiger Drylac page, and I mean, seriously, like, you've got it all here. I mean, this is pretty much everything. And you can order by the pound, right? A 1 pound order. And the price is not that bad. To be honest with you, it's 15, you're just saying across the board, any powder on this list is $15 a pound.
15 per pound, yes.
Yeah, that's totally a good price. You know what I mean? For buying a small quantity.
Yeah, until you start ordering about, 15 pounds more, then it might be best to go to your local distributor like
right.
Tiger Drylac or IFX Coatings, TCI, etc., and possibly buy it from them. You're probably going to save some money there.
Yeah, but
as far as a couple of pounds, we are here to help out with that.
Yeah, but see, here's something that you have that Tiger and some of the other coaters suppliers do not have, especially the really large ones. First of all, you can buy online, right? So it's
yes,
7 o'clock at night, and your customer finally called you to tell you what color they needed. You can go right on this site and order it. And that's something that these larger companies do not do as of yet. So it's very important. That's a great selling point for smaller coaters that just need to order 1 or 2 pounds. It's brilliant.
Yes, we just want to make it the most easiest way for the customer to order. So either our site's very compatible with smartphones and other tablet devices, so they're able to have a couple options. Either one, if they want to call in and order, or email and order to us, we can place an order in through online over the phone, or they can do it online from the comfort of their own smartphone and place the order in there.
Yeah, I like your site too. It's super easy to navigate. Everything is just all straight up laid out very well, so it's easy to navigate. I'm sure it is mobile friendly. I'm on desktop, but
thank you. We spent a lot of money on the website, I'll tell you that.
Oh, you trust me. I know you can. Lots of hours and lots of money, for sure.
Certainly.
But I think it's great that there are spray cans available. It's nice to see that starting to happen. And I also see like a little pen here. I haven't ordered a pen yet, but how does someone, is this just like the same kind of touch-up pens that people use? Like if you go to like a hardware store and, you know, say you just need to touch up your furniture and it's just like a pen, right? It's just got the color in it. Is it like that?
Yeah, it's something similar to like that. This specifically has, there's two, on our pins, they have two sides to it. One's a chisel style type, end, and the other one's a bullet point type end. And then the paint comes out of the valve, and there's a couple of balls that are inside of the shell to help agitate the paint in there. And then you literally just press the paint down, and you're able to, paint on, touch up, certain things that needs to be done. But they're very, very easy to use and very nice to have around. And we also sell the 2-ounce bottles and brush. It looks like a nail polish bottle. Some people prefer those over the pin because they're able to, push the paint in certain areas and kind of control the mill thickness of what they desire there. But the pins are a very popular thing we sell, Kip.
That's great, for sure. And I think the only thing that I see that's missing on your site is just that there's no picture of the bottle or brush up close, but it's got all the details. Everything's in here, everything that you need to know, including questions and answers from people that were like a little fact sheet at the bottom in case you did have questions. Yeah. That's cool. And
we are working on
reasonably
our
priced.
Yeah. Yeah, we are working on our site to help put more pictures on there to make the customer, aware of what they actually look like. And then we do have an application guide, per requested. We were getting that a lot when we first started out. So we do have a full application guide on how to apply these types of products to get the best and most accurate results when using them.
Right. And look, you can buy a 2-ounce bottle for $10. I mean, if that's going to save the job or save your customer, or save the relationship with your customer, that is totally worth the $10, but let's move over to your, what was I gonna, we're gonna go over to, well, let me get my notes out. Hold on. Now, one of the main questions that you guys get in the industry is that you guys do you get this question a lot, like, can you touch up a rim after somebody's powder coated it? What's the best way? Is it a pen, or is it the little touch-up bottle, or is it like a spray can kind of thing?
It all is, personal preference. When using the aerosol spray cans, one benefit you're going to have is that, you're going to have a really nice consistent finish on the product. The only disadvantage of an aerosol can is that you're going to have overspray. So in that event, you're going to have to do a lot of masking up. That's where the pin and the bottle comes into play. With pins and bottles, you're now controlling where you want to push the paint at. You won't have any overspray at all. Those always also have their own gremlins as well too. With pins and bottles, you sometimes have brush stroke marks, and that's where the aerosol can comes in advantage, because you have a nice, smooth, consistent finish with that. But with pins and bottles, you might have brush strokes marks on the product. But in my opinion, I personally, if it's just like a little scratch, you curb rashed your rims, specifically like let's say your pit rims are painted matte black, it's an easy fact of going back to the powder coater and asking them. They most likely have a record on what they coated your rims in, and just ask them what was the color code. I would like to order some paint from LVP Paints or Crosslink Paints, and once we have that color code, we can then point them into the right direction by matching the gloss, both the gloss level and the color. And this, as you know, saves significant amount of money than having to get the rims redone. We call it a temporary fix. It does a very good job of holding up on powder coating powder on top of it, or if you're applying it direct to metal, and it will make those rims look a lot better.
Yeah, we had this situation where the guy went, it was just the gloss black, whatever, and he put it on, and I'm not kidding you, like a week later, he called and he goes, I just scratched my rims. Can you guys just do it all over again? It's just one rim, and we're like, I don't know why we didn't think about this to just say that, like we could have just saved the day for the guy. I mean, I haven't heard back from him, but can you imagine how he felt? Like he just spent all this money getting his,
and Kim, it's definitely a lifesaver when you do have the option to use, touch-up paint on the rims. But sometimes there's some colors, some crazy colors, like whenever they're transparent and translucent, some people like those colors, and sometimes we can't match them. But for your customer that had the gloss black, that's most certainly a stock color for us, and he can spend $9.95 plus a little bit of shipping on there, and he can have a really good alternative to use versus getting the rims repowder coated. But for the ultimate best look, if you're wanting everything to look the same, the rims do need to be repowder coated. In that case, definitely powder coat them again.
Yeah, and you call it generic black, but you've got the generic black from all of the top formulators, Axalta, Tiger, PPG. You've got Vulcan black from Axalta, and another black mini texture from them as well. So I swear to God, you have it all covered here on this website. It's crazy.
Hey, we match about a couple hundred colors a day. So all these, accumulate up, and we're able to keep them on file here when the need arises. So if we do know the color code, we have a color standard here in our laboratory, and we're able to match both the color and the gloss level to it. But if you're looking for just a generic color, the main color line we match off of is the REL color chart. So if an REL color matches close to what you're looking for, we can most certainly help you out with a color match there without a minimum order size. Or like generic black, that's something we sell every single day, and those ones are pretty cheap and affordable to manufacture and sell out and market out without minimum order sizes there.
Yeah, and earlier we talked, and we were talking about like what makes you different, right? But I'm telling you, like, you guys are just way around different. I mean, there is no real comparison that I've found, other than that you have the low volume powders, which I was going to go to that site because that's the site I use. But
the LVP paints?
Yeah, LVP, that's it, LVP.
Yes.
And I don't know, I think Ross is the one that told me how to go there, and he's like barking orders at me one day. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, I would just, but he knows everything. Like, you can't tell him, but it's basically a similar website here. It's identical, but I think the other one is probably easier to use. But you have it all here. I guess I'll show, let me share my screen again so people can go here as well.
Yeah, the LVP Paints website, and I'll tell you a little history here. I mean, Low Volume Powder LLC is actually a company name, but we just have two DBAs here. One's called LVP paints, and the other one is called Crosslink paints. And we spend primarily most of our time working and developing the Crosslink paints website. Again, we have two different strategies with both companies. One company, sells another different line of paints than the other one as well too. But we're focusing, on the future, and we know people, as technology gets better, online shopping seems to be a more popular choice than going to the actual store. As you can see with COVID-19, online sales are significantly increasing versus in-store sales in most parts of retail businesses. So we work really hard in developing the Crosslink Paints website here at this time.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever gone over to Cardinal and tried to order directly, because Cardinal, I have had an experience with Cardinal paints and having to order liquid, touch-up paint from them. But I'll tell you, it is damn near impossible to order from them without picking up the phone. They do have an online e-commerce site, but it's horrendous to use. It's very chunky. You don't even know if you bought the powder or not. By the end of the transaction, it's very hard. And then I ended up having to call them in the end and place the order. So I don't know how these companies get away with just having such a, I don't know, the touch points with some of these companies is kind of a complaint point that I have. Although I do see the industry changing and stuff. We just, had some changes or some new announcements from IFS the other day. But for the most part, I think that you guys are just got your game face on right now, and you're ready to serve the market.
Kim, that's a very, very valid point that you made there. That's, what we think about those things when it comes to our competitors, and, it builds into part of our model on, what we do here. And that's one of the things that we try to make best is there's three things. One is having the fastest turnaround time. We understand when people call us, a lot of their problems here, they're calling us with a problem, and it's our job to help them fix this problem here in the fastest way possible. And with these companies, usually paint is the last thing down the line before it gets shipped out of the cup to the customer, and then they get their paycheck. But there's sometimes, the paint is what's holding them up from receiving that $10,000 check or not. So we do realize that fast turnaround time is very, very important in this industry. The second thing is the pricing. So you have to have a really good competitive price. Our prices they're pretty much average in the industry with our other competitors. Maybe ours is a little lower, or, ours is a little higher. My team here they do overtime hours to help keep the turnaround time down, and then the price, it has to be in return a little bit higher. But, we're able to help out that turnaround time. And then the other thing is the color match. You want a good quality product. So it doesn't help to, order something and then in 3 days the product doesn't match. So we spend a lot of time here in our laboratory developing formulas and better ways to make the color match the first time, and that way when the customer receives the paint, they have a really good, nice quality product there.
Those are all really valid points, and to know that usually when we have to reach out to you to order something, it's already urgent. I don't know. It's just that is the nature for us. What's the average? Does the average customer pre-order in anticipation of it, or is it more of that? Kind of a pull chain, like, oh, oops, we made a mistake. We need to order some paint. How do we fix this problem, kind of thing?
Yeah, you do see people that are anticipating. They'll say, hey, we know that this is probably going to get scratched up in the installation of, like, say, some fencing or panels, or when they go to when they go to installing these, they need to go and re-weld. So a lot of times, a lot of our customers go and order paint from us and go ahead and ship it with the project anyways. And then you have the customers that accidents happen on the spot and they need a touch-up paint solution now. So most of the time with a lot of our products, we can ship out, if it's a common color that we do have a color standard here in our laboratory, it's anywhere from 0 to 1 working business days to ship out of our facility. For custom color matching, if it's something that we don't have a color standard of, or if they're wanting us to match a specific batch and get the best possible color match out there, they'll then send us a chip sample, and we have a 0 to 3 working day turnaround with those types of color matching there. And then we offer a variety range of shipping options. The most popular one is ground. This paint also is classified as hazardous material, so when shipping paints or some paints and some aerosol products, we have to be very careful when shipping those. We are approved to do air shipments through UPS, so we can ship these specific types of paints UPS next day air and 2-day air. That's where some of our competitors are not able to do that, and that's one thing that we pushed forward last year is to get those capabilities of doing that, shipping 2-day and next day air. So we do have that available if necessary, but we highly recommend the ground option too. So
right, it sounds like you've thought of every. I guess as far as the customer journey goes, you've really tried to bring that experience to your customer, the touch point kind of experience, the thought of the whole scenario of what your ideal customer has to deal with, right? And you've really delivered. It sounds like you're delivering on that too, as well.
Kim, it really helps that since we have our powder coating business, we have literally a live scenario of what we see on the production end, and then it going to the end client, let's say to our powder coating segment there. So we see it all from when it gets manufactured, and when I mean manufactured, we don't actually make the raw materials. We buy in specific parts from other companies. With our modified alkyd enamel line, that's a PPG product. We take their bases and toners and then match it to y'all's specifications, and then we send that out and to the customer, so we're able to see how this paint gets applied and how it works, where it does good at, where it doesn't do good at, if there's issues in the application method. We're able to see everything, and if we're having good results here within our company, I'm sure everyone else is having the same good results, and then same if we're having bad results, we're able to fix those here fast and accordingly. So
yeah, and you have this, I'm going to mess this up here. I'm going to go back to your site where you are kind of in the industry in terms of racing, right? You doing kart racing and stuff like that. So you're not, I'm assuming you're using your products on the stuff that you're sponsoring. So that's other real
a little
world.
Bit there.
Yeah, that's your other real world experience, right? So
so we do have a racing department. So the kart racing is one of them. It's not like the go-karts that you go to your local entertainment park and race. These are more high-end ones, stuff that you want to go and do if you're trying to one, you can have fun in it, or two, you can actually make a career out of it possibly and go to do better things such as open wheel cars to race, Formula cars, NASCAR, and etc. But we have our business called Crosslink Competition, which does go-kart racing, and then it also does the open wheel cars and F4 U.S. Championship, and then the F3 U.S. Championship.
That's really cool. If you're going to be, you might as well make it fun for your employees and for yourselves to kind of get, behind some level of fun stuff, and sports and stuff. Just to kind of bring it full circle for for your company as well. So let's see, I've got, now let's get into kind of more of the industry stuff, because what do you see changing? Is it, because I know you put here, you want to push for a lower VOC levels in paints. How can that be achieved, or how do you want to see, how do you see that being achieved?
Yeah, so as you know, back a years back, some household paints were, they had lead in them, and a lot of now, as paint has developed, a lot of paints are now lead free. So the same with touch-up paint and paint in general. I feel like it's very important to start getting the VOC levels of the paint, which if people are not familiar what VOC is, it stands for volatile organic compounds. So that's the chemicals in the paint. The higher the VOC levels are, the higher the chemicals are, which is not a good thing, but the lower the VOC levels, the lower the chemicals, which a lot of household interior latex type paints, they don't have, there are some paints out there that have a 0 VOC level on it, which is incredible. So I can see the industry, heading towards that lower VOC levels in the paints. The reason why we have to use it is, to help keep why they are so high. It's really tough to make really good quality paints, and have it last as long as it does, with certain types of materials. But until we find different alternatives, which I'm at the rate that technology is moving today, I'm sure we can find some more better solutions to help keep these VOC levels down and help, overall help the environment out as well too.
Yeah, and you also put here what you see changing as well as like you put 2-part spray cans becoming more popular and color matching capabilities becoming more easier. What's a 2-part spray can? I'm sorry, I'm a dummy. So what is that?
Yeah, so a 2-part spray can, or otherwise sometimes not referenced as a 2K can, it's literally a 2-component part aerosol can. Sometimes it's on the bottom or the top, where you either maybe push a button or you maybe crack a valve, and these 2 components mix together. So 2K, 2 components. Usually one component is paint, the other component is a hardener. So with reason why some paints don't last as well as they do, or when sometimes you touch a paint and you can leave a fingerprint impression into it, is the paint's soft. And to kind of battle that, you need to use a hardener in with the paint to make the paint more durable and stronger. So in regards to aerosol spray paints, this technology is out, but it's not too popular because of the pricing on these cans, and then the filling methods and the compatibility with this type of product too. There's a lot of complications to it, but I believe they will start becoming more efficient, and people's demands for spray paint will become more towards hey, we need a more longer lasting products. I mean, they're already very good today, but any type of paint, when you're using a hardener, is going to beat a regular conventional paint without a hardener 9 times out of 10. You just you can't go any other way as far as durability there. But yeah, I see the market going. I see the market someday go into a 2-part aerosol spray can versus just a single component one, just because of the durability there. It's pretty revolutionary. Yeah.
That goes directly back to your company and what you stand for, and just improving field applications all the way around. I mean, that's pretty much what you're about. So I get that. Now, if you had
that means we're going to have to do that as well too. So in the future, we've already started to look into these types of products. As you said, they're still very complicated and expensive right now, but it's something we are looking to the future. And as if you don't innovate, you'll die. So as me being the general manager of this company, it's my duty to keep us surviving another day to fight. So we will always keep on innovating and making things better for
that's awesome.
Better of our company here.
Now that leads me to my next question. If you had an extra $100,000 in your business bank account, how would you spend it? Would you spend it on technology like this or something else?
Yeah, I think that is a valid point. I would maybe spend it on some more research and development of the 2K cans, and maybe possibly looking into seeing if it's still possible for something like us to do. But I think I'd probably spend it on research and developing on the paint matching and the production, just to make it more efficient. So this could be, maybe buying a new spectrometer, or you're maybe buying some different machinery. But that's what I would invest on, is to make the paint matching process, or either the production, more efficiently and more easily, and ultimately too more safer as well. So
yeah. So where can people find you? I'm going to share my screen because I do follow you on Instagram. So I'm going to bring up your Instagram account. Hold on. So yeah, you're on Instagram, and where else are you?
yeah, so the Crosslink paints, we are on Instagram. You can just type in Crosslink paints. You'll see a whole bunch of our posts on our color matches. So we like to post, various new products that we sell, and other cool jobs that we run into. I mean, we get some really crazy colors, and every time that we battle one of these colors and we get it right, we love to show it off. So you'll see a whole bunch of our posts there. We do have a Facebook. I think that's under just Crosslink paints as well, and then LVP has its own Instagram and Facebook as well, respectively named as LVP, I think, powder and paints.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're pretty easy to get a hold of either way. And one of the things that I just had a thought. I wanted to ask you, do you guys ever do like specials or have special offers on your pages for products?
Yeah, sometimes we do. With the COVID-19 happening this year, we weren't able to run a lot of specials on our stuff, but we just actually, with Crosslink paints, we launched a new paint line. We now sell the fluoropolymer paint by Sherwin-Williams. This specific paint has a PVDF resin in it. So if people don't know what PVDF is one of the strongest paint bonds out there known in the paint market today. So we do sell a touch-up paint that matches Sherwin-Williams fluoropolymers colors, or if you send us a sample, we can match that as well. And for that specific line, we're running a no minimum order size, introductory no minimum order size requirement, and then we do have special pricing on our website that they can find there under the commercial paints under fluoropolymers paint.
Awesome, good to know. Okay. Okay.
Hopefully next year we can run a couple of discounts. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can just go over there right now and just get an account, just so you probably have some kind of email blast or something like that.
Yeah, if they just want to create an account, they can keep up to date on what we're doing, and sometimes we do run blog articles as well too. We just post some of the new stuff that we're doing, and to keep you up to date on what we're looking at doing, and then maybe further improvements on our site and such things like that.
Yeah. Now, are you affiliated? There is a company called Crosslink Powder Coating. Is that a related business, or tell me more about how? Because there's a lot of Crosslinks. I guess that's a popular name.
Yeah, we do get that question a lot. So the main one is called Crosslink Powder Coating. That's the one here in Dallas, Texas. And that's actually the company ultimately that owns Low Volume Powder LLC, which owns LVP Paints, Crosslink Paints, and Crosslink Competition. But there are other powder coating companies also called Crosslink as well too. At one point, Crosslink was a franchise, so there was about 40 of these things throughout the whole United States. And as time went by, now they're all most likely individually owned, so they all have their own individual owners. But some of these companies did like the name, and cross-linking as a word of paint, it has a meaning to it. And it references well on the internet, so people have decided to keep the word Crosslink in it. So they would add like Crosslink powder coating of Fort Worth, or Crosslink powder coating at Texas, and etc.
Right. So, well, that's great. Okay, I'm so happy that you came on and that we finally, after months and months of talking and emailing each other back and forth, we ended up getting that blog post done in a verbal way.
I'm so thrilled. So, Kim, I'm so happy that you and Ross allowed me on your podcast. I'm a big fan of your work and of your blog posts. So I'm just so happy to be here and be able to kind of explain the works of touch-up paint, and then hopefully this helps powder coaters out there that are looking for economic solutions to their problems, helps them realize, hey, there's a solution to this, and then maybe we should reach out to Crosslink Paints and they might be able to help us. So
yeah, that's a great question to ask the listening audience is, have you ever heard of these touch-up paints? Have you ever used them? What's your experience? I know that we definitely have used them. I don't know if it's just our contractors around here or just sloppy installers or whatever, or just not being careful, but it's always good to know that you guys have our back when we're ready to order something like that. And to know if I go over to Crosslink or LVP paints, that I can order Cardinal, Exalta, any of these other larger companies in either powder, smaller order powders, or in the touch-up paints. So thanks again for coming on the show, Gabe. I appreciate your time today.
No problems. Kim, thank you very much for having me, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's to both you and Ross. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great day. Hope this has improved your powder coating business and you're able to level it up today. Thanks so much. Aloha.